Hello, beacons of light, soul brothers, soul sisters. Thank you for joining me here on Naressa and Beacons Field podcast. Today, I'll be reading a story by John Thomas Whitt, and it's a story about his autism journey. He was diagnosed as a child, and now he is an adult, and really how that looks like in that process growing up, and the journey that he went through, and the transition that he'll be presenting, and that awakening process of how he coped with it. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and really have any suggestions or ideas, just jot them down below and I'll read them. Thank you again for joining me here and this journey of this like-minded community of souls where we bring in higher consciousness into the world and I'll bring in a higher planet and light and life. Well, thank you for having me on this podcast. My name is John Thomas Whitt. To start off, I used to be an athlete. I played track and field as well as basketball. And I'm like my friend Eli, who was on this show recently. I've also gone to school for theater, and I'm about to graduate in May. All my requirements are done. It's just, I'm basically done with classes, just waiting to walk. That is an accomplishment. I thought that would never, happen for me. But God has been good throughout that journey. I took classes for screenwriting and creative writing, and I want to go into film and theater. I've been doing it for about 8 years now since I started back in high school. I graduated during the pandemic in May 2020. I want to go into filmmaking because I, myself, have been diagnosed with autism ever since I was about 4 years old. I can remember as a kid thinking, quote, "Am I really doing enough to be better socially?" End quote. So that's what I did. I got myself into theater in high school and discovered that was a career I wanted to pursue in college. And yet, here I am, about to have a Bachelor of Arts in it as well. It has not been easy though, because when you are autistic, people tend to take you for granted. But you show up for yourself, always. I've found out that trying to be better socially, and even though some people have turned on me because of it, I've had to learn and accept how to be confident in who I am. I can't let anyone else try to get me down. Another exciting thing I would like to announce is that in my hometown of Ignacio, Colorado, they opened a new arts center in the town where I live, and I'm getting ready to be a director for the building doing plays. I think this opportunity has come to me because God is telling me to tell my story. Like I said, I enjoy writing as well, and I've written screenplays, which I'm hoping to turn into a movie, while also getting the opportunity recently to film and direct a music video for a young 17-year-old singer, as well as a short stage play I wrote during my freshman year of college. It is a story I hope gets to come to fruition for that Dancing Spirit building, which opened on October 25th, 2024. But I have found that art and film in general can bring me to a better place, knowing I can have my voice be heard, a place to share my struggles. I'm currently writing my first feature film and have found that while I've been writing this, that I've come to realize what kind of experiences I have come upon and have tried to explain it on the script in pictures, trying to get people to understand what your message is going to be. I thank our Creator for giving me this opportunity and putting it in front of my way of life so that I can persevere. That's the point of art. It's supposed to evoke some kind of emotion. But now, since I've done the music video and scheduled a premiere for it, these last few days with no contact has honestly made me feel like I've lost in some form. Lost my own project to this girl who I thought was going to be my friend. No one is your friend. You have to realize that if you're a filmmaker for a young artist, either it works or doesn't. I would say the biggest thing why, since I want to go into film industry, is having people understand my story and impact others. To get a better idea of what being autistic is like for an everyday person who does social events and performs. If I were to go to Hollywood, it would be a risky move because I know how dark the film industry has been for years. We're all humans, so we deserve to be treated right. But there's been dark things going on for over 105 years since the silent film era in 1920. So I don't know if it would be the best idea to get into that city. Maybe if the timing was right, but I would rather make independent movies. I'm in the phase of trying to start my own film business so I can produce, direct, and act in projects I've written for my own usage. It's truly a gift when you can do that and not get writer's block, but at the same time, you're wondering if you really are making an impact. But it hits me like, quote, oh, I need to find another idea, end quote, or something like that. Most of the time, though, I'm trying to find the right way to be a filmmaker. I've already got an investment from a friend in California, and he wants to help me make a movie and all that stuff. Lately, I've felt like God has said yes and is letting me get creative with my ideas. On top of that, my parents have owned and operated their own hair salon business for the past 42 years, and I'm learning everything I can from them. They are parents who want the best for me, and they teach me every day to be a good business person. Even though my industry is not in cosmology, I've been given an opportunity in Utah sometime this year where I will get to be in an independent feature film written and directed by a woman as well. She went to the same college I'm currently going to, and she graduated in May of 2023. So she's been out of college for a while, almost over 2 years with 2025 already around. Aside from that, after the independent film is done, I'm getting another chance to be in my first ever SAG-AFTRA Screen Actors Guild production in Durango, where I live. It will be my way of getting myself into the union, even with a film that's for kids, and at times cheesy with the storyline. But it's whatever. It's a sequel to a film from 1999 called Durango Kids, directed by a director I know. You can look it up on Google, but it's going to be titled, quote, Durango Kids 2, end quote. I'm happy to be a part of this project and getting myself to actually be famous in a way or get me started with the local work in Colorado. I do want to mention that I have gone through several adversities, which has seriously made me have motivation for writing a lot more. You know, as a writer too, you sometimes get inspired by the things that are hurting you. And it really shows when you're writing from your own heart. Since I am making a movie after college, it is something I've dreamt of doing ever since I was a kid. I feel like since I've gone to college that it has affected my state of well-being. I wasn't the cool guy. I was the outsider. I've been that way my whole life. People have turned on me for reasons such as being autistic and also having to have a conversation to Title IX at my school that clearly said that I was one of the victims of sexual assault complaints. I was simply doing my job, and unfortunately, it's made people uncomfortable. It has put a burden on me because now people know from a presentation I did that clearly says that. They were trying to get me in trouble for something I wasn't paying attention to. My social cues changed that day. I had to be a better person. Some people don't want to see you win. They want to see you fall because you're disabled. That's the sad truth for someone like me. How do I expect to get along with males and females if I'm not likable? But just can't do anything to stop the negativity that people will bring at you for what you do. Even if that means having to keep telling them that you're better or you really are that outsider introvert who doesn't know how to talk to a woman. But unfortunately, numbers mean everything in this film industry now. And it's dividing people who are barely at 1 million followers to even audition for projects because they know that social skills matter a lot in casting, and I've seen it happen. They pick someone else simply because they're more marketable than you are. People seem to think I'm not doing the right thing for my future, and it has everyone worried I'm not going to pay off college and all that stuff because I'm not choosing a degree that's local to what people want from you at a job. You know, I really have been doing theater and film because I truly was that kid that was a mix of everything. I was shy. I was that one introvert in the extrovert natural environment. My mom used to be a basketball player, so I tried out basketball but found it was hurting me because some of the people that I was teammates with and a coach to were very hard to get past. They didn't support what I was doing and made fun of me for it. They thought I couldn't make a varsity, but I got one chance. I embarrassed myself many times because of this, but it taught me as a kid to be a better person, no matter what people are saying behind your back. I'm very grateful because it has led me to do more, and that is really important in today's society, as well as realize you put yourself in an uncomfortable environment, and that is something that you do to the best of your ability. I think it's important to be creative, to keep pursuing a career that will get recognition and satisfaction in whatever work you do. I've learned throughout my years in college, and I'll mention what a friend said, but, quote, "You can't please everyone," end quote. I saw people in the theater that liked and disliked my performances. I've had some college friends just come up to me and say, you know, how I did a good job portraying a character. When I did my first real leading role in college, it was called I and You by Lauren Gunserson. I was 20 years old, but I learned real quick that even past high school, you still feel like the ones you did back in your past. I think that is something to keep into the back of your mind. I'm going to be a film and theater director, and I had no idea that I would have reached this point in my life. I thought that I would be doing another business, like my parents doing cosmetic arts and services. Maybe I'll help to support my parents financially and business-wise now that I'm done with college. But I'm thankful for the support I've had throughout my life. Unfortunately, like I've said, adversity has challenged me, and ultimately, God for that reason. Whenever I try to connect with other people, I say something that immediately throws them off or makes them never respond anymore. It's sad, and this world I live in, all people care about is damn social media following and whether you're legitimate to talk to. I mean, I still have to deal with people criticizing the way I am, and it puts a big burden on all involved within the performance space. I had people I've known since my freshman year of college completely ignore me when I walked into the theater building, as well as having someone betray me for making that person feel like I was a problem by not listening and communicating properly. It upset her, and yeah, I've known to upset people and make them criticize me for my whole life. At that point, I felt like my life was a joke. It is just something that I tend to do is make people uncomfortable. And I really wish, being autistic, that I don't want to upset anyone and that things could be normal, you know? But that's life, I guess. I'll say it again. But you can't please everyone you meet. There will be many people who don't want to work with you. There will be people who enjoy being around you. But you would have to be careful because you would probably upset them again anyway. Some of my thoughts on autism. My autism journey, a story of struggles, strength, and growth. Introduction. Living with autism is like being part of a world that doesn't always speak the same language as you. From an early age, I knew I was different, but it took me time to fully understand why. That is my journey, a story of challenges, self-discovery, and learning to embrace who I am. Early years, feeling different. As a child, I often felt like I was in my own little world. Social interactions felt like puzzles I couldn't quite solve. I struggled with making eye contact, understanding jokes, and knowing when to speak or stay quiet. While other kids seemed to navigate friendship easily, I often felt left out, not because I didn't want to connect, but because I didn't know how. School struggles, the challenge of fitting in. School was a mixed experience for me. Academically, I thrived in subjects I was passionate about, but social settings were another story. Group projects were overwhelming, loud classrooms drained me, and unspoken social rules made friendships difficult. I often felt exhausted after a full day of masking, pretending to be more normal, so I wouldn't stand out. Sensory sensitivities, the overwhelming world. One of the hardest parts of autism for me has always been sensory overload. Bright lights, loud noises, unexpected touches. These could send me into a state of anxiety or shutdown. Crowded places felt suffocating, and even everyday sounds like a ticking clock or a buzzing light could become unbearable. Relationships and social life. Misunderstood, but not alone. Building relationships has never been easy. I've faced rejection, misunderstandings, and moments where I felt like I'd never truly belong. In dating and friendships, I often worried that I was too much or not enough. But over time, I've found people who appreciate me for who I am. The key wasn't trying to be someone I wasn't. It was embarrassing the way I naturally connect with others. Strengths and successes. Embracing my unique mind. Despite the challenges, autism has also given me strengths. I have a deep passion for my interests, an ability to focus intensely, and a perspective that allows me to see the world differently. My creativity, my drive, and my way of thinking sets me apart in ways I've come to value. Looking forward, a way of purpose. I may never fully fit into the mold that society expects, but that's okay. My journey is about creating my own path, one that embraces my strengths and accepts my struggles. If there's one thing I want others to take from my story, it's that being different isn't a weakness, it's a strength. I can or can't control how I am perceived by others that are around me. I have come to realize that I need to be more fit and have my life together for this current world that we live in, because some of it has not been kind at all to a lot of people, including me. But it is obviously happening for a reason. If I don't change the way that I come across to people, I'm going to lose my appeal. Even if I do get famous and all that when I'm older or in a few years, this is basically the whole gist of my story. In a nutshell, I have to learn more psychology techniques. There is one more bit I would like to add, and that's what I've learned, what I would do differently, and give advice. Number 1, I've learned a lot about what it means to take risks and put oneself out there for their voice to be heard, and sometimes silenced. It's not good, but it teaches me to look elsewhere for opportunities. Secondly, I think one thing I would do differently is start by making better creative choices and trying to live in that positive mindset, even when things are seeming to go to shit practically when I need it most. I've had to basically act my whole life as someone else. I have to break free from my introverted personality and autism. It's only hindering my success. If I could do things differently, it's really learning psychology. Acting and filming is human psychology, as well as being a part of the business world. You are required to do a lot, and one of them is learning to be prepared for life and rejection in life. When people don't see your success, they will keep doubting you. It's not easy at all living the way I have for only 23 years of my life and out of college. I also know if I were to start college over, I would be more social instead of scared like I used to be back in the day. I definitely tried to have more friends, but I just simply couldn't at the time. That's something I wish I could do differently. Finally, I would like to say to anyone out there that I hope you succeed in whatever you do, no matter if it's business, sales, acting, customer service, anything. You can achieve your dreams if you stop listening to the noise around you and the stuff going on in your head. It is up to us to save ourselves, because no one will do that for you at all. No one is rooting for you. Everyone is an enemy, and you have to be ready to hear the, quote, move on, end quote, tactic. Last thing is that no one is rooting for your success. There is no one. I repeat, no one. But sorry for my rant, but unfortunately, that is the truth that most of us will have to face, is no relationships ending because you screwed yourself up. That's the biggest lesson I would take away, is simply resilience. It's simple and determines our own success. The rejection has been more common than ever before. It seems as though I'm losing the game that I'm playing. I want to really end this story by saying that I'm happy about what I have done. Even though, yes, some things need work, I'm learning to move forward with my own self. It's the only way I'm going to change. I need a plan of action for when things go wrong. We need to find a way to be a better version of yourself. We might not like it if we have to start over with certain things, as that is a process to becoming better. I need to understand human psychology in order for me to be fully in tune with my life that maybe will only have about 7 to 8 years to live. It's up to us as individuals to do something about what is causing us to fail. We need to do better. This goes for relationships, faith, and your chosen career. But again, thank you for having me on this podcast. I really love it when someone like you is invested in my story and what I'm doing. I hope that 2025 will be a year of change for all of us. since it's been 5 years since 2020. Good golly, time flies. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this segment and tune into more work in the future. Until the next time, I'll be a changed person, ready to make an impact in this world and show that anyone with autism can overcome these challenges that we face in life daily. Wanting to be a star, wanting fame and glory to prove to people you actually did it. But thank you for having me on. I will hope to be on here next time.